Good morning, guys. So last night after I got off of work, I was YouTube browsing and I came across Mark Littlebliner's post on Whitney Thore, the girl on YouTube. She's called The Fat Girl Dancing, and she's gonna get a TLC show called My Fat Fabulous Life. And I just wanted to give a little input on this since I'm a fabulous girl. Just kidding. But there's nothing fabulous about being fat, let me tell you that. I've been fat my whole life, basically. I was born 12 pounds, and I was the fattest in my family forever. And I probably, no, I'm not the fattest anymore. My little brother's the fattest. But, he's not gonna like that. And, I just want to say, like, growing up, my brothers and sisters made fun of me. And I never, like, hated myself or anything. I just seen myself as bigger. I never thought I was ugly or any of that. And I feel that people, whether you're fat or skinny, people have self-confidence issues. And I don't think that the new campaign that she has going, which is no body shaming or something like that, is a good thing. Basically, you're promoting that fat is okay, and by all means you can be fat, and that's fine. But fat doesn't mean healthy, and it's very unhealthy. Especially myself, I've had blood pressure problems from being fat. So she's 380 pounds. She says that she dances and whatnot, and her knees don't hurt or nothing hurts. You know, she's okay being 380 pounds, which I think is bullshit, because I do Zumba doing the exact same moves that she's doing, and my freaking feet and knees fucking kill me. So I think it's a freaking lie, and I don't think it's okay. If she wants to be big, or anybody wants to be big, then by all, go for it. It's not fun. I don't think anyone loves being fat. Like, there has to be something you don't like about being overweight. For example, me, I don't like my body hurting. I don't like how tired I felt when I was 380 pounds as well myself. And I didn't like how I felt. I felt freaking tired all the time. I couldn't do things. I couldn't go out. And I went to Legoland, and I was 380 pounds then. I think there's a video of me old. I'll look for it. And I couldn't freaking ride a ride because I was too freaking fat. So there's nothing fabulous about that. And another thing, I lost my parents to basically obesity related problems, but my parents weren't even obese. They were maybe freaking 30 pounds overweight, but just from that they got a little sick, and then they didn't take care of it, and they passed away from heart problems and diabetes problems, which everyone's diabetes, if it's not taken care of, or even if it is taken care of with medicine, and you are still a little overweight and unhealthy, you will die of diabetes. It'll make you go blind. Some people lose limbs, and from that it progresses. It builds calcium in your arteries. It will dislodge, or they will get clogged. If part of calcium comes off of the artery, it will give you a stroke. And that's what happened to my dad. His blood pressure and that made it so that he had a stroke, and from there he was just sick. And there's nothing, once you have a stroke, there's nothing you can do about it. It will happen again, and you just get worse. And my mom, she had a heart attack because her diabetes was really bad, and her calcium in her arteries clogged up and gave her a heart attack. And she wasn't that overweight. I'll show you guys pictures later. She wasn't overweight her whole life either. She was maybe overweight for maybe a year tops of her life. And so promoting that being fat is okay, it's not. It's just making our country unhealthier, and so many people are dying. Heart disease kills more people a year than breast cancer, which breast cancer is highly funded, and heart disease is not, and it's the number one killer, especially for women, 35 and over, I believe. And breast cancer is also linked to being overweight because of the fat tissues that can be cancerous. But you don't really see people dying from that because there's so much money going towards it. Enough about explaining how diabetes and heart disease can kill you. And so yeah, being fat is a death sentence to yourself. Back to Whitney Thore, promoting that it's okay to be fat. I feel that she's blaming her overweight on polycystic ovarian syndrome, and she already obviously has a problem. That's why she got to 380 pounds, and it's not all due to this cyst syndrome that she has. I have a friend who had that herself. She gained maybe 10 pounds or 20, but she didn't let it continue to escalate to the point where she weighed 380 pounds. She did lose the weight, and the only problem was that she had a harder time getting pregnant. That was it. And I feel like people who have like the reality shows are encouraging this because they're making money off of it. And a lot of people right now are overweight. These viewers are overweight themselves. So what is going to happen is, and what's already happening, is that all these people on Instagram, on YouTube or whatever, who are overweight, like Emily or Whitney Thore, promoting that it's okay to be fat, and yes, you can be fat and pretty, and that's okay. But what's wrong is that people are using them as motivation to stay overweight, and you're basically motivating and encouraging unhealthiness, because being fat is unhealthy, and a shorter lifespan, because if we stay fat, we are gonna die young. My mom died at 55. If I stay this fat, I'll probably die by freaking 35, and that is not what I'm aiming for, and it's not what people should aim for. Like, you're just being lazy, don't want to do nothing about it. It's hard. I can tell you myself, it's really hard to freaking lose weight, and once you're accustomed to a certain lifestyle, it's hard to break that. And looking at Instagram and stuff with people saying, oh, it's okay, it's pretty to be fat. I have friends who follow these things and follow, I think her name is like Tess Munster or something, and she's a pretty overweight girl, and it basically motivates my friends that it's okay to stay big. And people are just going by image. Like, you shouldn't care about your image, you should care about your health, not about the way you look. Back onto Whitney Thore and her getting her show on TLC called My Fat Fabulous Life. I feel that a lot of the viewers will be overweight and or young and or parents, and if your parents are overweight, then they're gonna feel that it's okay for their kids to be fat, which means everyone is dying younger from being fat. And if promoting being fat keeps going on, we won't be able to stop this, and so many people will freaking die young. And I feel that people are just making new excuses on why it's okay to be fat. For example, she's blaming it on polycystic ovarian syndrome, and that's just one excuse of hers to continue to be fat. She was freaking thin at one point, so there's pictures of her, she's posing and doing all this and that, which shows that she must have loved herself then. Somehow she started getting big and she decided to keep going, and now I just feel that she's always been comfortable in her own skin, and she's an attention seeker, basically, is what I think. And now she's making people think that it's okay, and she's being a role model for younger women. And also on Instagram, like this girl named Tess Munster, I know a lot of friends who follow her, and it makes them feel okay to continue to be fat. And it's not bad to be fat. I'm fine with being fat myself, but I'm not okay with dying young. I'm not okay with how my knees and feet hurt. There's nothing fabulous about that. And that's what her show is called, My Fat Fabulous Life. There's nothing fabulous about being fat. There's nothing fabulous about not being able to have kids because you're so fat. It's not cool that this is being promoted, and so many young people are gonna freaking die. They're gonna continue to be sick because that's what happens. For example, me, I had high blood pressure. It's pretty controlled now, but that's because I exercise, and I am still fat, but that's not my goal. My goal is not to stay fat, because ultimately I will die, and every other fat person will die from being overweight. And that is something that we should not promote. Yes, love yourself, but don't love yourself because you're fat. That's not what you should love, is your fatness. You should love yourself in the inside and how great of a person you are. That's what you should love. You should love your personal characteristics of yourself. People are promoting vanity, and vanity is what's on the outside, not what's in the inside. So whether you're thin or fat, being vain is not cool. So don't let yourself fall into this where you feel that it's okay to be fat, because it's not okay. It's not healthy. And if we continue to be overweight, the main point is we're gonna have all these freaking diseases, and by the time that we already have these diseases, it's gonna be so hard to get back to being healthy. Because once something goes wrong, and you don't start controlling your weight, everything just starts going downhill. And that's what's happening nowadays. And so I know I rambled a lot, but hopefully I got my point across. I'm really bad at talking, so especially on camera. So just comment what you think on this topic, and don't forget to follow Paula, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.
For one day you hear, and then you're gone.